Well, welcome back everybody to our spreadsheets series week number 3. For the last 2 weeks, we basically just covered the basic formatting, and then last week we start introducing how do you implement the drop-down list, okay? And this week, I remember that we basically just sort of like based off our projects to learn Excel based on the Excel, the spreadsheets that I got it from the web. So I believe is, by the way, having your personal blog would be a great way to sort of like keep track of things that you did, okay? Because I feel like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? But I remember, oh, you know what? At that time when I found the spreadsheet, I also wrote an article and I actually upload and put links to it. So that's helped me to, it's kind of like keep track of where you are, you know. It's a personal blog. It would be a great way of keeping track things, what have you been doing and all this stuff. By the way, I remember that this is the spreadsheet that we actually used to learn our Excel, right? Where is it? Oh, right here. Right? Remember that? This is, remember that the only thing left, the only feature left on this spreadsheet is the calendar view and then the task bar, right? Because everything else we have already did it. Right, we already did this for the last 2 weeks. The formatting, the color for the background, color for the field, color for the fonts, and then different types of font size and all this stuff. It's pretty much just kind of like data entry, right? You put all this data, and then last week we start doing a little bit complicated. We start implementing the drop-down list. This is what they call drop-down list. This area right here is a ribbon area. This is where you find all your tools, okay? Either that or you can actually bring up your quick menu by sort of like doing the right-click mouse, okay? This is pretty simple drop-down list. All it has is 4 different possible values, right? So you implement this one using a data validation, on Microsoft Excel, same as Google Spreadsheet. I believe it's a data, and then you go to, data validation here. Data validation, okay? It's the same thing. Okay? Now the only thing left, it basically is the timeline, okay? And I remember, but I could not find it. I got it working for the last couple of days. To generate the timeline, it's very simple. It actually have the office plan up here on the top menus, and then you basically just click on that, and then they give you a template. You click on the template, they give you all the templates available. You can choose any template that you want to generate your template, and you press on that and your template will automatically get generated. But for some reason it does not show up, it's not working, so that's why it's meant for us to learn to do it manually, okay? And let's do it. It's going to be, since it's not available for us to do it automatically, but that feature still is only available for the Google Workspace account. The regular standard Google account does not have that. It's only available for Google Workspace account. Okay, so let's learn how to implement the calendar view and then the template. Okay, so all it has is a little template here, like a date of the month, right? And then the task. Whatever the duration of the task, it basically get a little bar here, right? And that will extend it over the duration of the task. when the task started and when the task end. Okay, and then take a look at, you can take a look at all these things right here. The task name depends on, these are the very critical column associated with task. You get the task, you get a start date and an end date for the task, and then you have the dependency list. Each task is assigned by a WBS ID, which is sort of like a task ID, okay? And then the dependency it lists if it does have or require to have any task completed before that particular task. Then in this particular column right here, dependency column, it will list those task ID that this task depend on. So you created the task dependency, okay? But right now, let's try to see if we can learn how to do the last feature, because remember, this is the design of that we try to sort of like, we base off of this things. It's kind of like a feature or final result driven approach, right? We take a look at it, say, this is our objective we want to achieve and replicate this design. Okay, so let's try to see if we'll be able to do these things today. These things here, okay, the calendar. So let's do that in the Google spreadsheet. Okay, so just do kind of like do Google Sheet here. This one's just say spreadsheet week 3. Week 3, okay, and let's do this. Okay, so let's do this one right here. We create a little, okay, we call this one is a task, right? It basically, right, it's just kind of like this one. You have task, start date and end date, right? So we do this one, task, start, end, right? And then we just created sort of like some date. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's start it with input some date, okay? A simple one. Let's say this is, we're gonna sort of like do this one in stages in different phase in the process. Phase 1, title, task 1.1, task 1.2, 1.3, task 1.4, and then you have phase 2 title. Let me just copy this one right here. We're gonna have 4 different tasks for phase 2, right? And then we basically just gonna have 7, 9, 10. For 7, 9, November 13, right? And then let's say that it's task probably lasts for like, I don't know, maybe a couple of days or something. 7, 9, 13, and 9. 13 November 19, 2025. Right. We just created sort of like random numbers. Okay. The duration, the start and the end date for the task. That's all. It's a data entry. Right. Okay. So now we actually have, I just want to make sure that our end days is probably like greater than, later than the start date. Okay, to make sure. Okay. Just want to double check and verify that. Okay. Okay. And then November 4, 2025, November 7, so that's going to be 3 days. Okay. So now I just want to sort of like format the date. Okay. A little bit. So I just want to show, instead of like the month first, I want to show the day first. Okay. So you go here, format, number, you go day here. And then I just want to show maybe, what is it? Let me see. This one right here. So maybe I just want to show, instead of the month, I want to show the date, the day, the month, and the year. Okay? So do that one here and apply. Okay, so now you actually have in a different format. But basically, it's, the full day is stored exactly the same. It's just a different format. They display instead of the month first, now they display the day first. Okay, and then I want to, let's say, okay, let's say November, right? I want to do that, and but I just want to display. See how this one right here, it's just like the number, right? Even though it's a number, but it's actually stored in the full date, like the date of the month. Okay, so I basically just want to show only the date. Okay, so I go to formatting, number, date, right? And I only want to show the date. So this one right here, right? That's all I want to show, just the number of the day. Even though it shows only one number, but it's actually the underlying information, the data is actually stored as a full date. Okay, so that's going to be one. Then this one right here, it basically going to be the next cell going to be, I'm going to put in formulas. Okay, so this is a little bit of using of build function formulas. Okay, so I'm gonna, the next cell will be calculated is the next day, so it will be calculated based on the day the cell before. So this one plus one. Okay, and now I'm building a week, so that's gonna be 7 days, right? So I will build in a week. 1, 2, see, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 2, 4, 6. Okay, so that's 7 right here. So I basically, I'm gonna extend this one. I'm gonna copy the formulas by placing your mouse cursor at the bottom right until it become a crosshair, and then just drag it over. I'm building 1 week at a time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. Hold on. Right. this one here, right? And then I'm gonna do a little formatting. I'm gonna highlight it in the middle. Then this one right here, I basically this is gonna be the week 1, okay? So basically I'm gonna take this one, I will display the week starting from the first day of that week, okay? So I show the display, so I'm gonna take this one right here, but this time I want to display the full date. Okay, and I want to merge this one. It's 1 week, 7 days. I merge it together using right. I just want to align it to the left, right. So that's the first week, and I'm gonna build right. I'm gonna build the next one. 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. Okay, that's gonna be a second week, right? I'm gonna build for the next. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's 3 weeks already, right? I want to, let's say that I want to build 5 weeks, okay? So this is Google Spreadsheet. I ran out of columns, so you know what? I'm going to create more column. Just column, 1 column. Two columns to the right, and then you have 3, right? I need 3 more columns, right? Well, hold on. 4 columns. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's build another week. Okay. Okay, so how many more weeks we have so far? We have 1 week already. That's 7, 7, 14. That's a week 2, 21. That's week 3. Let's create it 2 more weeks, okay? So I'm gonna copy the formulas, okay? 2, 4, 6, 7. That's week 4, right? And then create 1 more week, right? I just copy over 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, that's gonna be 5 weeks. Okay, Now, all we need to do is that's the second week, right? I'm gonna condense a little bit. Okay, so that's gonna be our week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is gonna be. Let's go ahead and merge them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right now. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Merge them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's gonna be week 5. Okay. And now I basically just remember that this day right here is the day of the first day of the week. Okay. So I'm gonna drag this one. Okay, so that's gonna be right there. Okay, the first week, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. Okay, it's kind of like this one right here. Yeah, let me try to see. I want to increase this, decrease this one a little bit, condense it a little bit. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. And now, the cell right below it, I want to sort of like show what day it is. Is that Monday? Is that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Okay, so I want to use the function. It's called text, and it takes the values of this text, right? It basically gonna take the value of the date, this date right here, and then I basically just sort of I just want to get the 3 letters, the abbreviation of the date of the week. Is that Monday, MOD, Tuesday, TUE, Wednesday, WED, right? So I want to take the abbreviation. So that's Saturday right there, November 1st, 2025. That's Saturday. We don't have to worry about, this day being current or not, because we're going to change that later based on another column, okay? Because all of this day here in this row is actually calculated based on this day right here, right? Now I just copy the whole. That's one good advantage of a spreadsheet. You can actually, once you're done for one cell, the formula works for one cell, you can use that cell across the spreadsheet. You can just copy over that function to all of this. Oh, you know what? Before doing that, I want to basically just take the first letters, okay? The first letters of the abbreviation of the date of the week. So Saturday, I want to take the first letter, which is S, right? Friday, which is F. Monday, which is letter M, okay? So to do that, I basically going to make use of the function. I'm going to call the function left. I take the left, the first character, which is starting from the left, I take the first character of it. And this argument, this function takes 2 parameters, 2 arguments, okay? That's what they call. This is the first argument. The second argument, they want to ask how many letters, how many do you want to take. So starting from the left, I want to take the first letter, so it's just one. It takes two arguments, okay, our parameters. So that's S, right? Now, you're going to copy that formula. Point your cursor to the bottom right until it becomes crosshair like that, and just drag it. That's how you copy it in Spreadsheet. Okay, there you go. And I want to maybe decrease the font size a little bit to make it look like, right? Yeah. Okay, look like that. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to sort of like make it, do a little formatting to make it look like a calendar, okay? How does a calendar look like? I don't know. Take a look at this one. You base everything off of it. Maybe you want to sort of like, this one, make it a gray color or something. Okay, make gray color. This one, make the font size white, right? And then I want to sort of like format a little bit of 1 week at a time. That, right? I don't know. And then one good thing about Spreadsheet, you can actually use the format painter just to copy the format from cells to cell, from branch of cell to branch of cell. Do this one right here, a pen roller, then just apply the format. Oh, shh. All right. All right. Ah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I want to sort of do a project start date. Okay, make a project, start, and then you sort of like give, I don't know, maybe 11, right? And then remember that out of this date here, based on the very first cell here, then so out of this date I generated based on the value on this cell, the E3. Now I want to take the value of the E3 will be the value of this one right here. So I'm going to say this one is equal to this one right here, right? But I want to make sure that it's going to be fixed, right? So I put a $sign on both column and row, right? So that's going to be, no. Right, I want to see that. Put in a $sign in front of the column and the row just to indicate to Excel that do not change the column or the row, okay? It's going to be fixed right there. Okay, so now whenever you change the date, let's say you want to change the day to 25. Oh, the same. Okay. Let's say you change the day to for 6, right? So how did this day change? Or you change to for 3/26 this year, 2026, right? Gonna change. And you want to make sure that it's correct. Okay, today is Sunday. Yesterday is Friday 3rd. Today is Sunday the 5th, Saturday 4th, so it's correct, right? Okay, so that's good. Now that you probably have the project start date, the 26th, okay, and that's going to be this cell right here. Take the value of this one right here, project start date, okay? Now, let me do a little formatting. This one right here, I want to indent it. Microsoft Excel does have the indent. Microsoft Word, Microsoft document, they have an indent here. Google Spreadsheet, you have to do a little. You either manually do it, sort of like put space before it, or you can actually just I'm gonna highlight all of this. Oh no. Right. Then I do control, and then I just do formatting number, custom number format, and I basically just, if I want to indent, I basically just put how much space in front of it. Maybe I put 3 space in front of it, 1, 2, 3, and then just let it add side. So I indent all of that. Okay. Okay, so now we have this one here. Okay, we're gonna base off of this one. Now the only thing left we have is probably the bar, right? We want to make sure that if you change the date, okay, let's say that you want to change to 11/20. Okay, the date changed it, right? If you want to change back to make sure that 3/29/26, okay, we have today's date, which is 4/5, right? The 5th, Saturday. But then the thing is, over here, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you want to start a day on Monday. So I'm going to do this one because the project start day is they always started at the same day as a project start day, but I want the week to start it on Monday instead of like the project will start it on the next Monday, okay? And I want to have just sort of like a standard calendar where the week started on Monday, okay? So, and this is Sunday, so you want to start it. And the way I do it is that you use a function. This one right here use a function called weekdays. This is the Excel function weekday, and then you basically take the project start day, which is in cells B1, right? And you basically take number 3. Number 3 is basically this function weekday, Excel function weekdays. It takes 2 arguments, 2 parameters. That's what they call. It takes the value and then it will give you the date of, let's say that Monday through Saturday, okay, Monday through Sunday. They're going to give you, if it is happen to be on Tuesday, then you know that you have to -1 to get back to Monday. If you know it's Wednesday, you -2, right? So this weekday function, they basically return the number representing the day of the week. Let's say that if your project start day happens to be on Thursday, then you have to minus 3 days to get back to Monday. That's what the weekday function, they calculated the number of days away from Monday, okay? And then it takes 2 arguments. It just take the project start date and then number 3, okay? You can look it up. So now it's always started on Monday, okay? Let's see to see if it's true. Okay, today is Sunday, 5th, 6th, it's Monday, okay? You know what? I want to decrease the font a little bit more. Yep, and then I want to center it. You know what I mean? That's good. I want to do it in the middle. Yeah, that looks kind of nice, right? Looks just like calendar, right? Okay, now good. Now, it doesn't matter exactly what the project start date that you put in. They always started on Monday. Let's say you want to do it on the May, I don't know, 4/29. It's always started on Monday, okay? Is that correct? 4/29, 4/29 is here. The next Monday is actually 4th, May 4. 4/29. The next Monday, May 4th. That's correct. Okay, so that's good. Okay, next, what we're gonna do is that we basically gonna do this bar right here, right? So let's do that. And one of the way that we do that, we have to use conditional formatting to do that, which means that you're gonna compare if this cell right here, right? This cell right here, right? If the days over here fall in between the start date and end date, then you basically just highlight the cells, right? If it is not, then don't highlight it, okay? Which means that if it started in between this date, then you highlight it. Okay, so let's put this project back to 11:25, okay? So basically, that's exactly what we try to do. Is the logic is that if this number right here, if the days fall in between the start and end date, then you highlight the cell, okay? So let's do that. You're gonna select this whole range here. This is gonna be all 5 weeks, right? Okay. Then use the conditional formatting. Okay, and then you see this range here, you're gonna choose the range. Yeah, that's fine, right? E5 to AM, that's correct. Do it again. Right? That's good. Right? Okay, that's the range we want to apply. And then you go here and then use custom formulas. And then you just want to know, see this one right here, equal the day, which is this one right here, E3, right? E3. You want to use the operator AND. If the day E3 greater than the start date, greater than and equal than the start date, right? Which is the start date is what? B5, right? B5, comma, and the day E3 less than or equal than the end date, The end day is what? C5, right? Okay, that's good. But the thing is, when you compare and when the formulas get copied, you don't want to change the column, you don't want to change the row. For this particular one, you want to keep the row. Okay, you basically just compare, the next column with the same row, so row 3. So you want to keep the same row, okay? But then when it comes to the start and end day, you want to keep the column. You don't want to keep the row. You want the row to change. So you put a dollar sign in front of whatever you want to keep it fixed. So this one right here, you gotta put it, this one here, this one there, right? And then you want to change the color. Maybe I want to change it like gray or something, right? Yeah, maybe gray, right? Or purple, I don't know. There you go. Okay, now you have it, right? Started from the 4th of November, ended to the 7th, right? Started on the 7th, ended on the 9th. It's a conditional formatting, but it's good. Once a formula is working, you just go ahead and copy that whole formula, the exact same formula throughout the entire range, okay? Except that you say that when you move it up, when the formulas get copied, Excel and the spreadsheet, basically they just change the column number and the row number, but whenever you don't want to change, you have to sort of like reference that with a dollar sign in front of the thing you don't want to change, okay? In this case, when you compare the date, you compare the date across horizontally on the top, right? You don't want to change, you want to stay fixed on the row. So that's why you have to use a dollar sign in front of the row number. And the column is a ladder number. The start day, you just want to keep the fixed number. The fixed column B or C, start day, okay? And that's how you actually get this one. Let's see. Let's see if the project is actually longer than some. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe, longer. So 5 weeks at a time is not enough. You want to see a little ahead of time. You want to see a little more in advance. What if you want to see, starting from week 6, they don't show it to you. So let's have this set of displays week. Let's have another field, say display week, right? And then this one is week 1. But if I want to see week 5, then starting from week 5, you want to see the next 5 weeks of week 5. So how do we do that? Basically, we go back to this one right here. Remember that all of this day here are actually calculated based on the value of this day. And this day is actually taking the value from this cells right here. Now, if you want to take the week, let's say that they want to show the week 3 and the next 5 days, the next 5 weeks for week 3. So basically, you're gonna do is, hold on. So basically, you're gonna take this one right here, and you just have to add a little more. Before, you want to start it on Monday, so you take the project start day, you minus the number of how far is it away from Monday, and then you subtract that from the project start day. Now you want to start it on whatever the week that they indicated, the user inputted in. They want to see week 5, then you just multiply that. So plus display week before that. You know what? Before that. Let's say that this one right here, you're going to name it using display. This is probably one of the ways that spreadsheet gives you to name a variable, okay, in Google spreadsheet. You call this one is a display week, okay? Okay, so that is the display week. Okay, now this one right here, will plus the displaced week week, okay. This one right here plus display week minus 1 multiplied by 7, right? Multiplied by 7, that means 7 days. You're basically going to take that week. If they want to see week 5, there's 7 days in the week. You take that number minus 1 times 7, and then you add it onto the project start date. Okay? That's it. Let's see whether or not it's work. Let's say that you want week 5, right? So that's going to be here, week 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Week 5 here. So week 5. So that's going to be the next, right? Why don't I just sort of like add another you know what? Let's say that this is week 1. Let's say you want to, this is week 1. This is going to be this week right here, right? Then I'm gonna hold on. Right? That's going to be your week number here, and then I'm gonna, there you go. And then if the user want to display week 5, week 4, week 3, right? If you want to sort of like display week 6, you know, so week 6 is from the project start day, and they will present you the next 5 weeks. Okay, so that's how you get it. Okay. Okay, now what else do we need? Okay, you know what? I think that to make it more interesting, you know, you can actually do more formatting, but to make it more interesting, let's say that I want to add 2 more rows here. Above it, right? Just make sure that it's not going to break my code. Let's say that you want to fine. Okay, that's good. Okay, now you want to have this one is, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's say I want to sort of create additional 2 columns. Okay, I want to remember last time I told you that I want to kind of like see the percentage progress bar, right? I want to see that if it is completed like 50%, completed like 100%, completed by 25%. I want to show a graph, a little bar to indicate that, how far it has been completed, out of 100% scale. So maybe I want to create two additional column, right? We don't have this one here, but over here, you can see that they have percent side, right? And then they assign to a person. Let's say that they assign to owner. Maybe we can actually do something like two more column, owner, and then the percentage progress bar. Excuse me. Okay, so let's do that. To the left, insert two column to the left, and then you just want to say that this is assigned to, and then this is progress, right? Okay, let's say you want to have 50%. This is like 50%, 100%, 75%, 25%, right? Then you just copy out these things here. Okay. Now, how do I do the maybe I want to show sort of like a little color, sort of like colorful percentage bar to see exactly how much progress you have made so far. So do conditional formatting, I think. And then you go color scale, right, just for now. Then try to do something like this one, right, to indicate if it is 100%, then it's going to be a darkest green. If 0%, then it's white, right? Let's say minimum number is 20. It's a number, maximum number is 1. Okay? Do that. And then I want to show, if it is 50%, I want to sort of like have a different color, so you can see that, okay, it's 50% completed, almost completed, right, on the bar. So how do we do this one? We're going to do this one by conditional formatting, okay? Remember that last time we compare the day. This days right here is actually fall between the start and end day by using an end operator. Okay, end function is actually greater than the start day and less than an end day. Now, I want to see that it's actually, because let's say that it's less than an end day, but then progress has been made, it's only 50%. So you want to show, this is hard to articulate, but anyway, let me try to do it. Because when I think, I'm actually thinking of the picture. Okay, so it's going to be, you're not going to call it conditional formatting, only coding, only coloring the cell where it's actually completed so far. So it's greater than the start day, but it's got to be less than the days that you completed so far. And the way that you calculate it is this. Okay, so you started from here, right? Right? Conditional formatting. Right? Add another rule. Okay. Empty custom formulas. Then you're going to do this one right here, of formulas. I have a formula somewhere. This one right here is going to be an operator. Okay, you're going to use AND operator. Hold on. Right? Let's test it out. This is green. Okay, it's work. Okay. Let me explain. Yeah, I want to make it green like that. Okay, that's good. Okay, let me explain. Okay, let me try to see if it's working. Let's say this is 25%, make it 50%. There you go, 75%, right? If it is 100%, then it's gonna color all that. Okay, now 50%. Okay, let me explain to you exactly what the function does. Okay, so let me take the notepad out. Okay, this one right here, let me show to you. I just want to do it on a Word document so you probably can see it better. Right? This one right here is basically it's just the date. Okay, you're gonna compare this one. Is actually greater than or equal than start date, right? And then you plus the number of days they completed so far. Okay, so the way that you do it is that you're basically gonna take the progress bar, right? This is what you do. Okay. This one right here is a G5. You're using an AND operator. Okay, you're going to compare. This one right here is actually before, it's actually greater than or equal to start date and less than or equal to the end date. But this time, because you only want to color, the cells that's probably already to indicate the number of days has already completed so far. It might not be the end date because when you get to the end date, that means 100% already completed. Now it's only like half the work has been completed. So you only want to conditional coloring, those days. So what you do is you take the G5. Remember, when you compare, the row number doesn't change. Okay, so you want to fix it, say G, but the column number you wanted to change. When the formula get copied, it will not. Spreadsheet will automatically change the number, dynamically change it. So you say G5, G, you don't want the row to change, greater than or equal to the start date. The start date is what? D8, right? D7, right? D7 right here, which is the top row, okay? And then G, less than, earlier we actually compared with the end date, right? But now it's basically is the start day plus how many days completed so far. Completed so far, right? Number of days complete. And the way that you do it, you're basically going to take the C7, which is the percentage of the progress has been completed, right? That means this one right here, C7. And then you multiply by, let's say that you take the end day, subtract the start day, you take the end day, subtract from the start day, and then you multiply by the percentage that completed so far, okay? And then this one right here, you call this function right here round out, basically just round it up, okay? But this is the argument that you pass, okay? That's how you get this one, okay? So those are the things that you need to do, you know? That's all you need to do for the timeline, for the calendar view. That's it. And then, you know what, if you want, you can actually just sort of like try to programmatically put the task name in front of it. You know, maybe this one right here equal to task name that way, you know. I don't know, maybe this one right here equal to, you know, this one. You can actually manually do it, or you can programmatically try to figure it out. Okay, what is the end day? And then after the end day, or you can actually figure out the start day and then put, you know, the task name, the name of the task before it. It doesn't matter. Okay? So, but this is how you do it. This is sort of like the functionalities that you try and the conditional formatting that you apply a little bit of programming, you know, but that's how you actually implement the calendars. And this one right here, remember, is started from, right? Let's say that you change it into 3, maybe probably like 126, right? Then display week is 1, so that's going to be right there. But if you want to display, how do I make this one a little like that? Right? If you want to display week number 3, you know, all this day is calculated automatically based on the day which is in the first cell. And you actually take the value of this cell from the project start day, okay? And then we actually make sure that the calendar always started on Monday, okay? Regardless of, you know, when the project start. The project start day might be over the weekend or probably like Thursday, but then the next Monday will consider to be that, okay? Let's say the semester have like, I don't know, 17 weeks, right? So you want to sort of like have that. Okay, I want to take a look at the last week of, you know, the semester. But it's only show you 5 weeks at a time. So maybe you want to see starting from week 12 or week 13, 14 or something. Yeah, you're going to see week, you know, maybe you want to do a little bit of this one. Maybe, what's that? Week, right? And then you just sort of like try to do that. You get an idea, right? Just copy over. You get an idea. This is just a matter of formatting. There you go. So you have week 14, week 14. That's it, okay? Get this one back. There you go. Change this one to 50%. Change this one to 45%. Okay? So that's gonna give you this last feature of the Excel that we actually base off of. Okay, that's going to be that's going to be good for the that's going to be good for today, and I hope that you enjoy this kind of like spreadsheet. Okay, so next week I'm gonna start. This is gonna be a great template for you to sort of like a task management, task to do, a little template for you to sort of like do it. So far you have a little template to start it out with. If you don't have Microsoft Excel, Google Spreadsheet would be the best starting place. It might not as convenient as the Microsoft Excel, because sometimes you have to do stuff manually, but remember it's free, so you have to do a little just a little more work, okay, to customize things a little bit and all that. But whatever that's done on Excel, it can be done in Google Spreadsheet. The basic functionality, basic thing is pretty much the same, okay? But at this, you probably be able to start it out, with a template for you to start any task or any projects, okay? It's going to be very great, powerful tool for you to keep track of where you're at, sort of like give you a better idea of where things are. Oh, that's good. Okay, this is probably like, yeah, that's the last one for this Excel tab. Now for the Excel file that I copied, I actually downloaded it, and then it gave me an idea. Hey, maybe we can actually just start it out the spreadsheet based off this one. Okay. Next week, I'm going to try to get into sort of like a different feature of Excel, maybe build function more. So this one right here, we probably just get it out of the way. You just have to implement and incorporate all the feature into this template. And then the next few weeks, I'm going to cover all the remaining important feature of Excel. Okay, maybe we're going to use a different example, but again, it's all about sort of like a final result, a result-oriented, a result-driven approach. I hope that you enjoy this week, and until next time, make sure that you're gonna keep your eyes on my blogs. I'm gonna post some assignments. I'm gonna create some sort of like assignment, or maybe even a screenshot to show you step by step. Okay? Thank you, and have a wonderful week.